It's almost the end of June and it's time to do a mid-year review of my Makselife setup. Hello everybody, this is Priya here. Welcome back to my channel if you're returning. And if this is the first time, thank you so much for checking out my channel. For today, I have a mid-year review of my Makselife setup. If you have seen my earlier videos, you know this is my horizontal inserts that I used to punch and put it on disc so that it can be on the disc all ready to go use. And as you can see, I've been really good this year. I did try it last year, but then I quickly fell off. But this time I was determined to make it work, and I have stuck to it. And so you can see all the months in that order up to June. And here are the assessments and the extras. So I will take you to June first, and this is the month at a glance. And I have really not been great at showing you these on a weekly basis because it tends to be a lot of repetition. So I just do not want to do that. So here I am doing a mid-year review so that you will have a better sense of where I am. So this was the monthly goals I had set up. And if you're familiar with the concept in the beginning, we do set the annual goals, and I will walk you through all of these, and these are the 8 categories we have, and we will also go through how I did, because I do have noted some of the stretch goals that I had, and I'm really proud of how far I have come looking back at the almost 6 months that are fully completed now. I'm filming this in mid-June because I wanted to do this before the end of June and then get ahead for the month, because I will be traveling for a couple of weeks in July. So I'm filming this a bit in advance. So I do have some of those, and this was the first week of the reflections and the weekly actions, and on to the second week, and I'm towards the tail end of this week. And so this was from Live Love Posh, and so was this, bringing in some more spring elements before we said goodbye to spring. And I did have a few things that did not happen and a few things that really did not get checked off. And this is the upcoming week. I'm filming this in the weekend before this week. So this is my wins from last week. This is a reflections page, and I have laid out the actions for the upcoming week, and I do have another week coming before I get to the monthly reflections. But what I did was, like I told you last time, after Q1 review, so if you get the inserts, you have a category called assessments, and that is where you have your 2 quarterly assessments. So I went ahead and did my assessment in my assessment scoring, which looks quite shabby, I must say. But I did go ahead and do these on the sheet, and I just brought in my scores. So if you remember, I had shared it in my Q1 review, as I mentioned. And this was where I started, and I do have an improvement, a clear improvement here. And this is already, the circles are, I'm doing pretty well, I must say, but staying consistent is what I had problems with. So moving to the end of Q2, we have further improvement, because this was 8.06 and I moved up to 8.5. So there is a slight increment in there, and I did go through these prompts and answered what I need to focus on and what contributed to what happened, all of that. I'm really impressed with how far I have come. So if you are to look from the beginning of the year, which was 7.6, I have moved up almost a whole point, which is impressive. And I did get off a few of my biggest goals, a few of my bigger goals, I must say, all checked out. And I will talk to you a bit in detail on those. So for the personal one, I had a few things that I wanted to work on as I was trying to see what I as a person, not as a wife, not as a mother, what I as a person, Priya, what would Priya like to achieve? So I had a few things I wanted to do. Some of these has not happened because I've not been able to do a lot of things because I have not traveled much. And one of these is restarting my classical Indian dance, which I have been trained on for almost 10 years, not almost 10 plus years in multiple dance forms. And I did restart it, and I'm super proud of where I stand after taking a break of a few decades. And then comes the fun and recreation. Some of these do not happen. So some of these, again, it does happen, but not on a regular basis. Consistency, I think, is something I should be focusing on. And the next would be the work and learning. Learning, again, the dance comes in. Here is what it is happening. And read 4 books a month. That was kind of a stretch goal. And I think this month I'm already, I think I'm finished with 2 already. I just completed my second book, The Locked Door by Freda McFadden. I really love thrillers and mysteries. So thanks to Mary Ellen Planning with Bumble, who introduced me to Freda McFadden, and I'm really loving her books. So I did finish 2 in the Housemaid series. A reading journal update will also be coming. So the Housemaid series, I finished 2 of the 3 books, and I could not find audiobook for the 3rd one, so I'm still on the hunt for that. So I did have a few very impressive progress on that, and some more time on spending time a bit more on practicing for my dance is another thing I need to add. Again, some more of the meal planning, the family time. We have been really working on certain routines that I'm really happy. It's a bit more a personal thing, so that's why I'm not going a bit more in detail on those. I did meet a few friends. I met a friend who was in town for a day. I did spend almost a few hours with her. I did have that luxury. And I also had some lunches with friends, meetups with friends, which was nice. So all of those things really help fill our cups, if we know what you mean. And staying consistent, again, sleep seems to be not in my favor, especially towards the end of the academic year. Some nights I'm left with about 5.5, 6 hours of sleep, which is not ideal for me. So anything less than 7 hours, my efficiency drops significantly. So I need to work a bit more on that. Again, adding more fiber to I am a vegetarian, but again, I tend to add more protein consciously, which is also important, because as a vegetarian, that's another hurdle I have. And making sure I have enough fiber in my diet. That is something I've been trying to make a habit, but it does not happen on busy days. So better planning ahead is, I do have the habit of prepping the meals, but then because of the extreme heat, it goes bad quickly. So I need to do the meal prep a couple of times a week, and not at the start of the week. So a few adjustments that need to come before the summer hits, which has already happened. So I need to put a bit more focus on that. And the spiritual and personal growth, the one shloka a day, it does not happen sometimes, but I do have a bedtime routine now, which I'm very proud I'm doing, along with my journaling, which also I mentioned in one of my earlier videos. And then financial, I'm not too much worried because we do have a few systems in place, so we're pretty good. Again, buying a house, I did have a house, I did sell it a few years ago, so buying a house is on my list. I'm not sure if the timing is right, but I still can have that in my goals. I have few more things. It's too many balls up in the air, so I have to have the timing has to be right, which are external to me. So it will depend on a few things. So moving on, no spend. I'm doing it week by week. Some weeks, last week especially, I've not spent on anything, and yeah, I've been nice. And but some weeks you are on the lookout for certain things, and you do end up paying because those are like unicorns, and you have to be flexible with that. And the last one would be the physical environment, where my decluttering is still ongoing, and a few things regarding the Eagle Scout, which my elder son has just become. So proud of him. So there is a coat of honor that will be coming, so I need to plan ahead for that. It's a whole new set of tasks, from focusing how his journey was. If you are a scout mom or a dad, you know how it works. So let me know in the comments if you have an eagle in your family, or one of your kids, your relatives. Let me know if you have one and how you celebrated their special achievement. I can always look for ideas, right? What would we do otherwise, other than just the normal coat of honor that the troop does? Did you do anything special, and did you give him or her any special gifts? Please fill me in on all those details. I'm always open to ideas and fun things we can all do for our loved ones. And then I do have a few things I have in mind regarding the decluttering and all the clearing the physical space that we need. So that's a quick review of my Q2. And I did have a few hurdles here and there, which is understandable in any situation, but I kept pushing, and I'm so proud. So moving on to the setup of the system. So this was May, and this was a few things. Some weeks I don't get the reflections, but I do assign tasks, and I really kept going. As you can see, I had all the excuse to fall out, but I did not let it happen. And I did the monthly reflections, and yeah, so forgot to mention that the washi tape is from Goat Girl Goodies, the brick washi, and the stickers are from Desert Oasis from Pastel. And let's get to the undated inserts that I have. I keep it in here. So this was one of the planner covers from Planything. Just here is the embossing or the debossing. I'm not sure. So these ones, this was a cover I picked up from Planything this was from a couple of years ago, and she did bring these florals and these washi tapes back with the tropical beach. I'm not sure if she still has this cover, but I really love this one. And these are some of the ones I had used from last year. So this was from last year, and I have a few extra pages, that's it. And this is a folder and the set of stickers that come with the undated extension. And on this side, I have the new 6-month extension that I broke into, and I just took 1 month out of here. So it comes like this with a frosted cover. It's thick enough, but not too thick to be sturdy. So it's a bit pliable. And this is the extension. So it for somebody who wants to try the system, you have the whole full setup. You can do that, the annual goals, all of that. And I still have, let's see, yeah, I did take 1 month, and I do need another month from here. So I will have 3 more months, and then the assessments and the extra pages. Extra pages will be the future plans and a few lined paper, along with the folder and the stickers. And let me know in the comments whether you use a Makselife system. And last but definitely not the least, a huge shout out to the Makselife team for coming out with such great ideas. And thank you, Sierra, for this amazing goal setting system. And I'm so glad I stay consistent with the whole setup this time, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to. And I'm so glad that I did. Let me know in the comments how you set up your goals. What goal systems planner do you use? If at all you use one, I'm curious to know. And how often do you go back and review and readjust them? I'm just curious to understand how each of us work. I will have my full playlist on the full Makselife setup and all the steps, all of that down in the description. Please check that out if you're new to the system. And please consider subscribing to my channel and turning on the bell notification if you haven't already. It helps me out with the growth of the channel and get my content out to more folks out there. And please don't forget to share it with anybody who you think will benefit from such videos. And I will link all the products I used below, including all my affiliate links and codes. I would really appreciate it if you would consider using them to shop. It truly, truly means the world. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you in my next one. Bye.